So hi everybody, welcome to the Vermont Vegetable and Berry Growers webinar. Today we're going to have Zac Smith from the Ag Business Program with UVM Extension talk to us about agricultural business digital marketing. So take it away, Zac. Thanks so much. And we'll actually, I should just say, I can moderate the questions in the chat. There's not so many people that maybe at the end we can have some conversation as well, but please hold your questions until the end unless Zac feels differently.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you very much for the introduction, and I'm just going to jump right into it. A little bit of background on this digital marketing planner and why it was conceived is just because, as everybody can imagine, there were quite a few people jumping into the digital atmosphere, if you will, the digital environment, and a lot of farms, just had to go out and improvise and get things going as soon as possible this past spring. Now, as we've gone through all of this, changes with COVID and everything. Now's the time to take our experiences and put together plans to make the most out of their e-commerce or any type of commercial activities on the farm that need to be supported with digital marketing. So let me make sure I can get this going. Yep. So just the agricultural business, the UVM Extension agricultural business program engages with farm, forest, and maple enterprises using valuable planning and educational resources to promote a strong agricultural economy. Our experienced team delivers one-on-one, small group, and online learning opportunities that enhance digital decision-making and viability. Our programs and research provide direction for key stakeholders to advance initiatives that improve business outcomes in a dynamic agricultural sector. Little introduction of the planner. The purpose of the UVM Extension Agricultural Digital Marketing Planner, which I will refer to from now on as the AgBiz DMP, is to support farmers throughout Vermont as they strengthen their business through online activities. We'll work with farmers. What we'll do is work with farmers to learn about digital marketing basics, and then extension specialists, primarily myself, will be giving direct feedback as we go through this process. The ultimate goal after going through this process is to actually have a digital marketing plan in the hand of the farm business at the end of this process. I'll go over a little bit of the process here. I'm going to explain all the different parts, but when I refer to digital marketing, I refer to it as an umbrella term for all of your online efforts that you use to promote your business and to make a sale. This may be familiar from other things that I've presented in the past, but digital marketing, the way I like to look at it is like to look at it as an ecosystem, and we will address decisions that are made when you're putting together a website, when you're using search engine, when you're focusing on search engine optimization, social networking, advertising, email marketing, e-commerce, and analytics. So the phases of this plan, this digital marketing planner, there are 5 phases. The first phase is your design phase. I'll go into detail with each of these phases in this presentation, but we have a design phase, we have a getting discover phase, we have a relationship building phase, we have a commerce phase, and a community growth phase. So diving into the first part, which is the design, what we want to do is establish what the business is in our own terms, in our own vernacular. And in this part, we also decide on how we're going to communicate to our audiences. We focus on developing a purpose statement, which is something that's very similar to a mission or a vision statement. And then we also establish messaging guidelines. The reason why this is so important in the beginning is it's when you're putting together a marketing plan, it's really important to make sure that your messaging is clear, concise, cohesive throughout all of your channels that you're using. The basic elements of this part of the plan are to define your brand, its purpose, and the products you sell. Many companies, many businesses already have done this, but it's a good process to revisit this and be honest with yourself and your team, and develop a purpose statement for what you're doing. In this phase also, we'll define target audiences and how you're going to present your brand and your products to that audience. And then we'll also talk about the importance of defining calls to action for your audiences. The next phase is the get discovered phase. The results of this phase are to define how people are going to find out about your online presence, be it websites, social media, etc. We defined our purpose in the first phase. We defined some messaging in that phase. Now we're going to define what are you going to do in order to get noticed. And this is where this is a pretty intensive phase, because we're going to go over all the tools that are available for you to get noticed. And so we're going to make decisions on what tools you're going to use and how you're going to implement it, how you're going to outreach, and how you're going to intake interested clients and potential customers. We talk about, a very, very important part of all of this process is understanding who's going to manage all of this. A lot of farmers, that do have difficulties in dedicating time or personnel to actually maintaining their website and doing digital marketing activities. Another very, very important topic that we'll discuss is budgeting for all of these undertakings. And then we're going to talk about how we're going to integrate offline marketing with online marketing. Offline marketing is something that's really important to a farm business because of the opportunities that farmers have to integrate with potential clients, partners, industry partners, and also agencies and service providers. So it's important to consider what you're doing offline too, and how you can integrate it with your online activities. Part 3, relationship building. It's basically how are you going to figure out how people are going to engage with your content. In this scenario, or in this phase, what we're really going to do is look at the different forms of traffic that come to your website and the keys to success for each form of traffic that you'll integrate into your plan. We have to consider, we'll go over and define each form of traffic: direct traffic, organic traffic, referral, social media, email, and we'll define those forms of traffic, and then we'll figure out some keys to success for the company within each of those channels. Part 4 is the fun part, is where we'll focus on actually completing sales and increasing sales volumes. Well, in this area too, we'll talk about choosing the appropriate website platform that you'll use for your digital marketing efforts, and then also we'll talk about how to analyze all the information that your website is processing for you. It's very important within this area. We'll have elements that will focus on key performance indicators that you should be paying attention to. We'll focus on how to choose an online platform, and we'll also introduce the subject of utilizing analytics for improving your sales. Then part 5 is how are we going to build community loyalty and advocacy. We want to focus here on how to influence repeat purchasers, lifetime value of customers, satisfaction rates, and ideas on how to grow your community. So that's a real very, very quick summary of the elements and the parts of the plan. A little bit about the actual plan and like the planner and what it is. It will be living online at this address that's in the link right there. I will send this out by email, a link to everything. And what it is basically on each page is going to have a video presentation of the topic, of the theme for the phase. The video presentation will go through all of what we want to discuss. And then I'll also have text that explains everything in further detail. And then once you're done watching the video and reading the texts, there will actually be a form that you can submit. And within that form, that is where you'll answer some questions that I have for you. And you'll basically be able to submit that form to me. And when that form comes to me, I analyze your answers, I provide you feedback, and then we move on to the next phase when we're ready for it. And so after all 5 of these phases, what we'll have is I will be able to send you a digital marketing plan. And it's like really, I mean, when it comes to doing planning, just like with business planning, the plan is great to have, but it's also the planning process is really the most important part of all of this. So what we're doing now is we have not made any of this public until right now. So yeah, we're getting ready to send it out, and we'll be ready to get going with farms. I definitely wanted to leave a lot more time for being able to answer any questions that people may have. So please feel free to let me know.
Zac, this is Vern. Thanks for that.
No problem.
Is this program open to any kind of farm? And how do you qualify?
Yeah, it's any type of farm in Vermont. We would like to keep it in Vermont for now. And yeah, it's any type of. It's very, very basic. It's not. We're not focusing on the details of any specific type of business. But I mean, other than being a farm business.
Thanks. Becky says her internet just popped off.
Oh.
And I'm calling in because my power's out. It's one of those days.
Yeah, I don't notice anything in the chat, but I don't know if anybody has an opportunity to.
So you've been working with people on this, and that's what got you to see the need and start the program. I mean, are there any tips for getting started for people who haven't wrapped their minds around?
Well, that's kind of like the objective is to actually just jump right in, because what I've noticed is a lot of people just like say, well, we have a need, we have to get online, or we're online and we don't know what to do next, with the business, or like they got a website or something like that. And really, like that's where I want people to come in. I want people that are in that phase, like that they know that they need to do something, and they can jump right into that, and then we basically get the ball rolling through them observing the content and submitting the forms, and then me providing feedback along the way.
I can't see who's on the call, but any farms that are starting to dabble in digital marketing?
I noticed that I got a question from Sarah. The platform that I'm using to manage everything is HubSpot CRM. I've been using HubSpot since around 2011 for a variety of different applications. And any service provider or anybody that would like to speak about HubSpot with me, please feel free to reach out to me. I think it's an excellent tool. It's free. And yeah, it's an excellent tool to manage customers, manage any type of business activity. We're using it with AgBiz, with all of our people in farm viability and our water quality projects too.
Hey Zac, this is Hans. Did you see the other in the chat? It looks like Sarah also earlier had asked, needing this now, how do I start? And
yeah, how you can start just by let me.
And Georgette also said, how do I start? And then there's a question about cost of any cost to farmers to get your help or to use this, what you're coming out with.
This this is free. Well, I don't like to use the word free, but yeah, this is at no cost to any farmer. This right now, what we're doing is really, we've allocated my time, my work, as a part of working with farm viability and general business AgBiz education. So this is for anybody that comes in. It's all that we need is time and patience for feedback, and that's it.
So for me and other service providers, say, that are on the call and we're interacting with growers, how would you suggest either linking or supporting or notifying that kind of outreach from that end? Like, how are you, like, bring it on, encouraging, or how would you?
Yeah, what I'm gonna do after this is share an email with you, just like a little introductory, introduction to the program and a link. And whenever anybody's ready, you just jump right into the link. It'll take you right to part one. I put the link in this chat area, but what I would like is to send it out to listservs. Yeah, it's ready to go, and whenever anybody completes the form, and it's only a couple questions in each phase. So whenever anybody completes a phases form, I get notified immediately, and the goal is for me to provide feedback within 2 to 3 business days for each form that is completed.
Nice.
And what we imagine is also that there will entail, a phone call or two, or even a meeting while we're going through this process. Yeah.
I think Becky's off, and I'm not totally sure what else we have scheduled here. If there isn't anything, I would make the suggestion, actually, that since I think Georgette and Sarah are here, and maybe a couple of others, that we actually maybe get a little bit more specific, like as an example of using their situations, what the kind of tack you would take or something. I don't know if that's helpful, or you're even prepared to do that. But since we have them on the call, that might be something we could do in a few minutes that would shed some light, like more specifically on an example.
Yeah. I've spoken with Georgette and Sarah, so yeah, they can let me know. But I mean, I know that each business is very unique, and a lot of people are just at a variety of different stages with their relationship with digital marketing. So in the beginning, I encourage everybody to share as much as they can. And right here, I hope my screen share is still working, but I'm sharing the page. It has a video, and then a lot of text basically describing what I want to address in this phase. And then we talk about, like, the topics, for example, this topic of messaging. I really like to focus on messaging at the very beginning, because a lot of people wander when they're creating messaging that's going out to the public. So I want to make sure that everybody's got their heads on straight on that one. Another thing that's really important to consider in this is that this information is confidential and is not shared unless the participant gives permission to myself or any other colleague that I'll be working with. I don't know if anybody can chime in right now, if any participants would like to chime in with any particular questions.
Yeah, Zach, this is Becky. Sorry, my internet got cut off, but I'm on the phone.
Problem.
We don't have any other like agenda besides your presentation. So, if people have other questions, I know Hans and Vern and I are all on. So if there's any other conversations people want to have, but we can also give people the rest of the afternoon to get things done. So.
So yeah, I would expect, I would expect an email from us with a brief description of this and the link to get started very soon.
Great. Well, we'll definitely promote it.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Zac.
Thank you guys, and look forward to hearing from you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.